Hello again, folks. Welcome back to Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. This is episode 49. And finally, I'm going to get to this APBA 1994 strike season double elimination tournament. Before we get started with the starting lineups, let's take a quick look at the brackets. And as you can see, it's your standard 8-team double elimination bracket setup. Just a few ground rules for this tournament. The higher seeded team will always be the home team. And we will use the DH in American League parks. So in the National League team is the home team. The pitchers will have to bat. And I think that's about it. Oh, three-man rotation. We're going to, since these are only 20-man card sets, I'm going to use the suggestion that someone gave me for my Stratomatic Old Timer King of the Hill tournament, and we're going to go with a three-man rotation. Okay, for the visiting California Angels, and they are the 8th seed in this tournament, and they're here in Philadelphia at the Vet for game number 1. Leading off in center field is Chad Curtis. Batting second at third base is Spike Owen. Batting third, Tim Salmon. He is in right field. Jim Edmonds bats fourth. He's in left. JT Snow bats fifth. He's at first base. Chris Turner is behind the plate. He bats sixth. Damon Easley is at second base. He bats seventh. Gary DeScarcina is at shortstop. He bats eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Chuck Finley. He's a left-hander. And he is a grade C pitcher with a Y modifier. Now for the home Phillies, the number 1 seeded Phillies. Oh, by the way, I seeded these teams purely based on their winning percentages in '94. And if there was a tie, and I think there were a couple ties, I just flipped the coin to make that difference. Okay. Here for the home Philadelphia Phillies, leading off, center field, Lenny Dykstra. Batting second at second base is Mickey Morandini. Batting third at first base is John Kruk. Batting fourth behind the plate is Darren Daulton. Batting fifth at third base is Dave Hollins. Batting sixth in left field is Pete Incaviglia. Batting seventh in right field is Jim Eisenreich. Batting eighth at shortstop, Kevin Stalker, and batting ninth in pitching is Danny Jackson. He is a grade B pitcher with Y and Z modifiers. Now, defensively, the Angels have 40 points, so that makes them a fielding 2, and Philadelphia with 38 also is a fielding 2. All right. So Chad Curtis steps up to the plate. Jackson's finished his warm-up tosses, and we are underway. And that's a 65, and a 65 is a 35. And a 35 is drifting pop-up near the screen. Catcher has it. It's a nice play by Darren Daulton, and there's one away. Next up is Spike Owen, the third baseman. A 45, and that's way outside ball 4. So 1-out walk for Spike Owen, and he's on first with 1 away. Here's Tim Salmon. That's a 23, and a 23 is a 33. It's a towering pop-up. Third baseman Dave Hollins makes the call and the catch for out number 2. So there's 2 away for Jim Edmonds with Spike Owen on first base. That's a 15, and a 15 is an 8. And Jackson's a B pitcher. And that's top to the mound, only one play in time. And that's going to be a 1-3 for Edmonds. And that's the third out of the inning. And the Angels get a runner in the top of the first, but do not score. And after 1/2 inning of play, it's the Angels nothing, and the Phillies coming to bat. All right, Chuck Finley is ready for Dykstra. Dykstra steps up to the plate, and we have a 26. And a 26 is a 27. And as batter safe at first. Oh, sorry, forgot to change the chart. Apologize for that. I am still don't have the mechanics down completely. Okay, at 26. 26 is a bounding ball to second, and the throw gets him 4-3. So Dykstra's retired. Easley to JT Snow, and there's one away for the Phillies here in the bottom of the first. Your second baseman, Mickey Morandini. That's a 21. And that is driven to the gap, but caught by left fielder Jim Edmonds. Nice play by Edmonds for out number 2. Saved an extra base hit on that one. Here's John Kruk, first baseman for the Phils. Nobody on, 2 away. It's a 52. And that is ripped to third base, but it's nabbed by Spike Owen. He tosses over to JT Snow for out number 3. Another nice defensive play by the Angels. And the Phillies go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. And after 1 inning of play, we have no score. Okay, Jackson's going to face Snow, Turner, and Easley here in the top of the second. Here's JT Snow. That's a 34. And that is a deep fly to center, but it is caught by Lenny Dykstra, and there's one away. Here's Chris Turner, Angels catcher. It's a 25. And that's a 9. It's a sharp grounder off the shortstop Kevin Stalker's glove, and it's into left field for a 1-out single. So Turner's on first base with 1 out. First hit of the game. And here's Damon Easley. That's a 44. And that is top to the mound, only one play to first base, and that's going to advance Turner to second. So it's a 1-3 put out for the second out, but it places Chris Turner in scoring position. So he's on second with 2 outs for Gary DeScarcina, Angel shortstop. And that's a 24, and that is a 27. And that is a 5-4 put out for out number 3. That would be Hollins over to Mickey Morandini on the ground ball, and that's out number 3. Angels put a man in scoring position, but they leave Turner stranded at second base, and after 1.5 innings of play, there's no score. Leading off for the Phillies in the bottom of the second is going to be Darren Dalton. That's a 43 and a 43. Pitcher gets, well, once again, I forgot to change the card back. Oh, I think I made a mistake there. We have to go back. Oh, boy. Runner on second base. Apologize for this. I should have given A warning before I started, I am still getting used to the boards here. See if I can find what that result was. Okay, so that was a 8. And with a runner on second base, that 8 under the B pitcher is a great grab by the pitcher, which steals a hit. So it would have been a 1-3 put out, and I apologize for that, but it is still out, number 3. Okay, Darren Daulton. Did I roll this for him? I believe I did. 43. Yes. All right. Okay, 43 for Daulton. Bases are empty. And that's a 29. And that's back to Damon East, or excuse me, to Chuck Finley. Tosses over to JT Snow for out number 1. Here's Dave Hollins, Phillies third baseman. And that's a 46. And that is a swing and a miss. And it's the first strikeout for Finley and the second out of the inning. It's 2 away for Pete Incaviglia, Phillies left fielder. No score here in the bottom of the second with 2 outs. That's a 42. And that is a strikeout. 2 strikeouts in a row for Finley. And that's the third out. And the Phillies go 1-2-3 again. And after 2 innings of play, no score. Finley will be leading off for the Angels here in the bottom, or top of the third. And that's a 34. And that is deep fly to center field. And that's caught by Lenny Dykstra. And there is 1 away. Back to the top of the order, and Chad Curtis, center fielder for the Angels. He's 0 for 1. He popped out to catcher Darren Daulton in the first. That's a 45, and that is way outside, ball 4. So 1 out walk to Curtis, and the Angels have a man on first, 1 out for Spike Owen. Owen walked his first time up. That's a 26. And a 26 for Owen is fielder's choice. And, or excuse me, 26. So it's a 5-4 fielder's choice, which retires Curtis at second. And that's the second out. And Spike Owen is on first with 2 away. And Tim Salmon. All right. So 25. And that is a single to center field, which is going to send Spike Owen over to third base. So the Angels have runners on the corners with 2 outs and Jim Edmonds. All right. So 55. And that is a RBI hit to right field. Men on first and third. Slow on first would be out at third base, but let's see. That is Spike Owen. I don't believe he's slow. No, he is not. So that's an RBI single for Jim Edmonds. Tim Salmon makes it over to third. And the Angels are on the board. 2 out RBI single for Edmonds. And that brings up JT Snow with runners still on the corners. Oh, you know, I know Tim Salmon is not slow, but it was Salmon who I should have looked at there going to third. All right, 22. And that is an RBI hit to right field. Same result as the last time. And that's going to send Edmonds to third. Tim Salmon scores. And it's still first and third with 2 outs. And the Angels now lead 2-0. And here's Chris Turner. And that's a 31. 31. Just missed outside, ball 4. Or excuse me. Yeah, it is ball 4. So Turner walks, and that loads the bases. For Damon Easley. And they're moving around a little bit in the Phillies bullpen. So 25. And it's a broken bat single to left field. And it's going to be first and second. 2 out result. Actually, it's going to move. Oh, wait a minute. The bases are loaded. I'm looking at the wrong result again. I apologize. All right. 25 is a 9. And that is lined over first base. Bases stay full. But there's 2 outs, so that's going to be a 2 RBI single for Easley. Turner's going to move to third. So Easley gets the single. Snow and Edmonds both score, and it is 4-0. And there's some activity in the Phillies bullpen now. It's going to be Mike Butcher. Or excuse me, that's the wrong team. Sorry. No, thought that was wrong. Oh, boy. Heath Slocum is going to warm up for the Phils. There are 2 outs. And first and third for the Angels. And they are up 4-0. It's quiet here at the vet right now. All right. Oh, here we go. And this is Gary DeScarcina with runners on the corners and 2 outs. So 56. And that is going to be a swing and a foul tip. Catcher hangs on. Strike 3. First strikeout for Jackson. And that's out number 3, but not before the Angels bat around and score 4 runs in the top of the third. And after 2.5 innings of play, it's the Angels 4 and the Phillies nothing. Now here in the bottom of the third, it's going to be Jim Eisenreich, Kevin Stalker, and Jackson, but his day might be over because Slocum is still warming up for the Phillies. And we'll see what happens here. That is a 16 and a 16. It's a high hopper fielded by the shortstop. That's Gary DeScarcina over to JT Snow for out number 1. 6-3. 1 away. Brings up Kevin Stalker. Philly shortstop. That's a 14. And that is driven to the gap, but caught by the left fielder, Jim Edmonds. A couple nice plays by Edmonds in this game, and there are 2 away. That's going to be it for Jackson. And the Phillies are going to bring up Mariano Duncan. He's going to pinch hit for Jackson. His day is over. Heath Slocum will be the new Phillies pitcher when they come back out. That's Duncan. Pitch hit. Fourth. Or third, rather. Okay, so that's Duncan. Nobody on, 2 outs. That's a 63. And that is laced to the gap, but it's caught by center fielder Curtis. Some nice defensive plays helping out Chuck Finley. And that's out number 3. The Phillies once again go 1, 2, 3. And after 3 innings of play, it's the Angels 3 and the Phillies nothing. First batter for the Angels is Chuck Finley, who's cruising along right now. That's a 56. And that is a infield fly. Kevin Stalker's underneath that, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Back to the top of the order. And Chad Curtis. Nobody on, 1 out. That's an 11. Got to roll again. And that is a 61. And a 61 is a high hopper over the first baseman's head. That's John Crook. And Curtis slides into second after Jim Eisenreich retrieves the ball. And that is a 1-out double. So Curtis is on second. Oh, and I really do need to... Slocum is a grade B pitcher with a Y modifier. I need to put that here. It's a B pitcher, Y modifier. All right. Okay, so we have the... Oh, brother. This boy's messing up. You have to excuse me. That's Curtis with the double. All right, Curtis is on second, 1 out, and Spike Owen is at the plate. That's a 43. And chop to first base, underhands to the pitcher in time, but that's going to move Curtis over to third. So that is a 3-1 put out for the second out. And that brings up Tim Salmon with a runner on third. 2 outs. So 53. And that's a fly ball dropped by the right fielder. Oh, hold on. Nope. Got runners on third now. All right. 53 is a 17. And he's a grade B pitcher. That doesn't matter. It's a fly ball to short right field, play at home, safe. Wow. So Salmon drops one in for a single. And that allows... Wait a minute, let me check that. Fly ball to short right field. Play at home, safe. Okay, sorry about that. That is a fly out to right field. So that run does not score. Curtis does not score there. And that's a fly ball to right field for out number 3. The Angels threaten but do not score in the top of the 4th. And after 3.5 innings of play, it's the Angels 4 and the Phillies nothing. Back to the top of the order for the Phillies and Lenny Dykstra. That's a 43. And 43 is 29. It's chopped to the pitcher. And that's Finley over to JT Snow for the 1-3 put out. And there's 1 away. Mickey Morandini. Slide out to left field his first time up. That's an 11. So we're rolling again. That's a 64. And that is a driven into the right field alley, one hops the wall. And that is a 1-out double. Phillies' first hit here in the bottom of the 4th. And they got a man in scoring position with 1 out for John Kruk. All right. Kruk grounded out his first time up. It's a 25, and that is 8, and it's a single to left field, which is going to drive in Mickey Morandini. And the Phillies are on the board. It's now 4-1. Kruk's on first base with 1 out, and Dutch Dalton, or as his card says, Bubba. Huh. Anyway, Kruk's on first base, and there is 1 out. And Dalton up the bat, and that is a 15, and that is a single to right field, and that's going to move Kruk over to third. So it's first and third with 1 out, and Dave Hollins is up to bat. And 0-2 count, and there goes Dalton, and he takes second base. So now it's second and third with 1 out. For Dave Hollins. Phillies on the board, scores 4-1. And that's a 55, and that is 8, and that is a 2-run hit to right field. Oh, wait a minute. Dalton on second, he's not slow. That's a 2-run hit to right field, and the score is now 4-3. Holland drives in 2 runs, and it's 4-3. And here's Pete Incaviglia, man on first with 1 out. That is a 25. And that is chopped off the plate, no play. And that moves Hollins up to second. And there's some activity now in the Angels bullpen. So it's first and second with 1 out. Angels lead 4-3, and Jim Eisenreich is at the plate. That's a 54. And that's lifted to right field, and it's a shallow fly ball. For the second out, the runners are going to hold. Tim Salmon makes the play. They are 2 away. And here's Kevin Stocker. So 55. And that is looped over to shortstop for an RBI hit, and it's going to make it first and second. This game is tied. Tied at 4 here in the 4th. Keith Slocum is going to bat for himself here, as the Phillies get ready to bat around. They've sent 9 men to the plate now. And that's Slocum. All right. All right. First and second, 2 outs. Slocum, 15. And That's looped over to shortstop for an RBI hit. The Phillies take the lead. 5-4. And we have runners on first and second with Slocum's single. And yes, Finley is now reduced a rating. And Mike Butcher is going to warm up here as the Phillies have batted around. Back to the top of the order. And Lenny Dykstra. It's a 22. And it's a 0, so we're rolling again. And that's a 13. And a 13, 6. It's a 2-run double to right field. Phillies are lighting it up. 2 RBI double for Dykstra. And the score is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-4. Phillies. So Dykstra's on second with 2 outs. And that's it for Chuck Finley. His day is over. And Mike Butcher is going to come into the game here. Butcher is a grade D pitcher. Butcher is a grade D pitcher with a Y and W modifier. He's a D, Y and W. All right, so got a man on second, 2 outs, and Mickey Morandini. And that's a 25. And more trouble. It's lined over to shortstop for an RBI hit. Oh no, that's not wrong. We only have a man on second. Oh, once again, I have to apologize. That's a D pitcher. That's a single to center field, but it is an RBI. And Morandini hits his second hit of the game, and that sends Dykstra home. And it's now 8-4. Here's Kruk with Morandini on first base. And 2 outs. It's a 54. And that is a 32. And that's a medium fly to right field. No problem. And it's out number 3. Let the Phillies score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 runs in the bottom of the 4th and now lead 8-4. All right, leading off for the Angels here. In the top of the 5th is Jim Edmonds. And that's a 43. And a 43 is chopped to the pitcher. That's who's the pitcher? Duncan. Or excuse me, Slocum. Over to Kruk for out number 1. There's one away here in the top of the 5th. And JT Snow. That's a 25. And Slocum is a B pitcher. It's a sharp grounder off the shortstop. Kevin Stalker's glove, and it's a single. That's a 1-out single for Snow. So he's on first with 1 out. And Chris Turner. And that is a 53. 20. Slocum is a B pitcher. That doesn't matter. 53, and that's a 20. It's booted by the second fielder into short right field, and that's going to move. So that's an error by Mickey Morandini. So that's an E4. Turner's on first, and that's going to move Snow over to third. So it's first and third with 1 out. And Damon Easley up. All right. First and third, 1 out, Damon Easley. So 42. So 13. And that is freezes him with a nasty curve for strike 3. That's the first strikeout for Slocum. And there's 2 away. Gary DeScarcina, shortstop. That's a 35, and that is botched double steal out at home. Oh my goodness! Wow. So DeScarcina will come back up to bat, but JT Snow is thrown out going home on a double steal. And after 4.5 innings of play, it's the Phillies 8 and the Angels 4. Leading off for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 5th is Darren Dalton. It's a 45. And it's a 14. It's way outside, ball 4. Dalton draws the walk, and he's on first base with nobody out. And here's Dave Hollins. All right. That's a 13, and that is ball 4. Just missed inside. Now it's first and second with nobody out. And Pete Incaviglia. That's a 13, and a 13 is double play ball booted by the second baseman. That fills the bases. That's an E4. The bases are jacked with nobody out. And the Angels are going to get some more action in their bullpen. And that is going to be Joe Grahey. He's going to start warming up. And the Angels are bringing the infield in. Bases are loaded, nobody out for Jim Eisenreich. And that's a 33. And we are going to the second column. And that is a 16. And that is a 2-run double to deep left. Phillies are pouring it on. Eisenreich with the 2-run double. And that makes it 10-4. And there's still nobody out. And runners on second and third for Kevin Stalker. Probably be the last pitcher for Butcher, excuse me. Yeah, that's a 62. It's a 13. And that's strikeout. First strikeout for Butcher, and there's one away. That's second and third yet. And back to Heath Slocum. All right. Second and third, one out. And that's a 42. And that is a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Butcher, and the second out of the inning. And we're back to the top of the order. Lenny Dykstra, runners on second and third. Great, he's ready if they need him. That's a 46. And that is one hopper speared by the pitcher. Butcher flips over to JT Snow for out number 3. The Phillies do score 2 more runs, and after 5 lead 10-4. All right. So leading off for, or DeScarcino will still be up to bat. He was at the plate when the double steal occurred, or the double steal attempt. So here we are in the top of the 6th. And it's going to be DeScarcino, the pitcher spot, and the top of the order. So that's a 21, and a 21 is a 2-hopper to first base. Oh, and he throws to the pitcher. It's in the dirt, and it's going to be an E3. DeScarcino is safe at first base, so he's at first with nobody out. And Mike Butcher's day is over. He's going to be replaced by Joe Grahey. Actually, he's going to be replaced by a pinch hitter first. That's going to be Chili Davis. Chili Davis is going to pinch hit for Butcher. So there's a man on first with nobody out. And Chili Davis. All right, that's a 54. And that is a 32. That is a medium fly to right field. No problem for Pete Incaviglia, and there is one out. DeScarcino holds it first. And we're back to the top of the order. Chad Curtis. Well, man on first with one out. It's a 26, and that is a medium fly to right field, no problem for Jim Eisenreich, and there are 2 away. Brings up Spike Owen, man on first, 2 outs. 64. And that is ball 4, just missed inside. So that's going to move DeScarcino up to second. And Owen walks. So it's first and second with 2 outs for Tim Salmon. And that's an 11, and that's going to send us to column 2. And that's a 51, and that is a 9. He's a B pitcher. Chopped off the plate, no play, no way, and the bases are loaded. So that is a single. And that loads him up with 2 outs for Jim Edmonds. All right. Phillies lead 10-4. The Angels are threatening here in the top of the 6th. And that is a 45. That is ball 4. Forces in a run. Oh, excuse me. Oh, he's a B pitcher. Well, it doesn't matter. It's way outside ball 4, and it forces in a run. And it's now 10-5. 2 outs. JT Snow. Bases are still loaded. So 15. 15 is a 9. A B pitcher. It's lined over first base. Bases stay full. There are it's a 2 RBI single. And it's going to put runners on the corners. Edmonds moves over to third. Owen and Salmon score. And it's now 10-7. And there's going to be some more activity in the Phillies bullpen. And that is going to be David West. Going to start warming up for the Phillies. And there's 2 outs. First and third for Chris Turner. It's a 25. And he is a B pitcher, 25. That's a 9. It's blooped out of the shortstop's reach. It's an RBI hit. And it is now 10-8. That's an RBI single. Snow moves to third. Edmonds scores. And it is now 10-8. And that's going to do it for Slocum. The new Phillies pitcher is going to be David West. And I'll put him into the lineup here. David West in the Phillies lineup. And Slocum, his day is over. And West is a grade B pitcher as a reliever with a Y and W modifier. And that's West. It's a B, Y, and W modifier. All right, so it's first and third with 2 outs for Damon Easley. It's a 41. It's a 24. Okay, hold on a second here. Got first and third with 2 outs. Roll the 41. That's a 24. Okay, that's going to be a ground out. 4-3. That's Morandini over to Krug for out number 3. But the Angels do score 4 runs in the top of the 6th, and after 5.5, it's the Phillies 10 and the Angels 8. So we go to the bottom of the 6th for the Phillies, and that's going to be Morandini, Kruk, and Dalton. All right. It's a 54, and that's a lazy fall to right center fielder, right center field, and Chad Curtis makes the catch for out number 1. Here's John Kruk. $65, $35. And that's a drifting pop-up near the screen. Catcher Chris Turner has that, and it's out number 2. 2 outs, nobody on for Darren Dalton. It's a 54. That is a lace to the gap, but it's caught by the right fielder, Tim Salmon, for out number 3. So the Phillies go 1, 2, 3 in the 6th, and after 6 innings of play, it's the Phillies 10 and the Angels 8. All right, base is empty. Here we are on the top of the 7th. Gary DeScarcina. That's a 14. And the 14 is way outside, ball 4. So leadoff walk for DeScarcina. Running out of bench here, so Joe Grayhe's going to have to bat. So the man on first with nobody out, and he's going to try to sacrifice him over. Let's see. First, get my other book here, and let's see what happens. Sacrifice bunt, runner on first. Okay. That's a 36, and 36 is a 12. And bunted hard at third base, gambles to second, in time, batters safe at first on the fielder's choice. So Grayhe fielder's choice. He's safe at first. DeScarcina's thrown out at second for the first out. And we're back to the top of the order, and Chad Curtis. And that's a 42. And that is a strikeout. Might be the first strike. It is the first strikeout for Grayhe. Or excuse me, for West. And there's 2 away. 2 outs, a man on first for Spike Owen. So 13. Just missed inside, and ball 4. That moves Grayhe up to second. Owen walks. It's first and second with 2 outs. Tim Salmon. It's a 51. And that's a slow roller to third. Throws out. Or wait a minute. Nope. Got to check that again. Runners are on first and second. 51. 9. Slow roller. It's still a slow roller to third base. Bare hand. Got him. That's out number 3. That's 5-3. Angels do not score in the top of the 7th, and after 6.5, it's the Phillies 10 and the Angels 8. Leading off for the Phillies in the bottom of the 7th, it's going to be Dave Hollins. He'll be followed by Pete Incaviglia and Jim Eisenreich. It's Hollins, 21, and that's a 13. And that's a strikeout. So there's one away for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 7th. Brings up Pete Incaviglia. And that's an 11. And that is a Rahe. I didn't write him down here. Yeah, what kind of pitcher is he? He's a D pitcher. Please forgive me here with the Z modifier. Okay, so we rolled an 11. That's a 5. And that is a rocket past the diving first baseman down the line. He'll get a double. That's a 1-out double for Incaviglia. Phillies are in business again. Man on second with 1 out, and Jim Eisenreich coming up. .65. And it's skied near the stands. Third base takes. We're out, but West is, or excuse me, no, Rahe is not a W pitcher, so that is a fly out to third baseman Dave Hollins for out number 2, or excuse me, third baseman Spike Owen for out number 2. So there's a man on second with 2 away and Kevin Stalker. That's a 66, and that's taking us to the second column. And that is a 51, and that is line drive base hit to left field. It's an RBI double. It's another run for the Phillies. Incaviglia scores, and it's now 8-11. David West is going to bat for himself. Man on first with 2 outs. Say 25. And that is a strikeout for out number 3. But the Phillies do score and get one of those runs back, and after 7 innings of play, it's the Phillies 11 and the Angels 8. As we go to the top of the 8th, and leading off for the Angels will be Jim Edmonds. And that is a 66, and that's going to send us to column 2. Uh, 13 is a swing and a miss. I'm starting to learn these 13s tend to be strikeouts. Huh? There's one away here in the top of the 8th. And JT Snow. It's a 46. And that's another strikeout. That's 2 in a row for West. And there's 2 away, nobody on. Chris Turner. It's 44. And that's an 8. And well hit, but it's right at the center fielder, Lenny Dykstra, for out number 3. That was the first 1-2-3 inning in a while, I believe. Oh no, I guess the Phillies had one in the 6th. The Angels go 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the 8th, and after 7.5, it's the Phillies 11 and the Angels 8. Okay, so it's going to be the top of the order for the Phillies here in the 8th. That's Lenny Dykstra, Mickey Morandini, and John Kruk. And that is a 34. And the 34 is a deep fly to center field, but it is caught by Chad Curtis for out number 1. 1 away, Mickey Morandini. It's a 52. And that is a rip to third base, but it's nabbed by Spike Owen over to JT Snow for out number 2. Nice play by Spike Owen. There's 2 away. Here in the bottom of the 8th, and John Kruk. It's a 45. And that is way outside, ball 4. So a 2-out walk for Kruk. And he's on first base for Dalton. It's a 66. And that is a long, deep drive down the left field line. Jim Edmonds watches it go over his head, and it is gone. Way out of here. 2-run shot for Dalton. Now the Phillies lead 13-8. My. It's Dave Hollins. Gray, he's just going to ride this out at this point. So there's nobody on with 2 outs now. For Hollins. And that's a 62. And that's a strikeout. That's out number 3. The Phillies do score 2 more runs on Dalton's deep home run to left field. And after 8 innings of play, it's the Phillies 13 and the Angels 8. And this is going to be last chance for the Angels here in the top of the 9th, trailing by 5. West is still out there for the Phillies. It's going to be Eastley, DeScarcina, and the pitcher spot. And there's a 61, and that is a rip to third base, but it's nabbed by Dave Hollins over to John Kruk for out number 1. And there's 1 away here in the top of the 9th. Here's Gary DeScarcina. Harold Reynolds is in the on-deck circle. He'll be batting for Grahey. There's a 21, and a 21 is driven to the gap, but it's caught by Pete Incaviglia. Another nice defensive play. There have been several of those in this game, and there's out number 2. So Grahey's day is over, and Harold Reynolds is going to pinch hit for him. Yeah. Two outs, nobody on here in bottom of the 9th. This last chance for the Angels. And that's a 43, and that is a chop to the pitcher. West tosses over to John Kruk for out number 3, and that's the end of the game. And the Phillies win this one 13-8. See if I can get some totals for you. The Phillies 13 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 hits. Did the Phillies commit any errors? No. Whoops. That's the Phillies, 12 hits. No errors. The Angels 8 runs on 11 hits, but the Phillies did commit an error. The Angels did not. So there's your final score. Game 1 of this 1994 double elimination tournament. Had the number 1 seeded Philadelphia Phillies coming back and defeating the number 8 seeded California Angels 13-8. If you hung around this long, I appreciate that you did, because I know I fumbled through this game. Still a lot of work I need on these charts, on the mechanics. But that's what this tournament's all about. It is a learning experience to prepare me for the 1911 Dead Ball project, which is going to be my long-term project for this. So if you hung around this long, I appreciate it. And until next time, take care.